In today's crowded marketplace, business often believes that better products automatically lead to more sales. But new research suggests that that's no longer enough, as AI makes it easier than ever to produce polished marketing content. Trust, familiarity, and a strong brand are increasingly becoming the deciding factors behind major purchases. To unpack why buyers choose brands they believe in over featured heavily sales pitches, we're joined by Pybus, who's marketing manager and creative director at Euphoria Telecom. Lauren, good afternoon and welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
It's good to be with you.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your time. So when we look at it, many businesses still believe that if they build the best product, customers will naturally come. Yet your research suggests that that's no longer the case. What changed in the way organizations make purchasing decisions?
I think, Yusuf, the most important thing to understand is that in the business-to-business space, customers are motivated to make a purchase for different reasons than they would when you're making a personal buying decision. So we all know if you want to go on holiday to Mauritius, marketers can appeal to you on emotion, vibrant colors, and you can go, right, that's the hotel I want to go to at that time. When you're selling in a business-to-business environment, most people just want to make the right decision. They don't want to be responsible for bringing on the wrong suppliers. So the motivation's different, and so it's much more factual. People are looking for facts. They mostly are making decisions based on product and price, especially in this economy and in a tough economic climate. So marketers, have to keep pace with the way in which that type of customer is looking to make their decisions. But that doesn't mean that the brands that you build can't be fun and vibrant and exciting. And I think that's where things are changing. Business-to-business brands are becoming more dynamic and more interesting. They have to be, because so much more content is being produced by AI. So if you want to stand out, you've got to change the way you communicate. And I think it's a great opportunity for marketers in the space to raise their game and produce brands that are dynamic, exciting, and interesting.
That is so fascinating, considering what is going on in the markets. One of the most striking findings is that many deals don't go to a competitor at all. They simply end in a no decision. So why are businesses becoming so hesitant to commit, and what role does trust play in overcoming that fear?
I think trust signals in the business-to-business environment are more important than ever. You don't really lose out in business-to-business to other competitors so much as you lose out because you haven't been clear in your messaging. So at Euphoria Telecom, for example, we always put in all of our marketing collateral that we've been in business since 2010. That's a huge trust signal. People want to know when you're making a business telephony decision, it's a big ticket item. People want to know that they are choosing a trusted player that's been around the block, that's not going anywhere. So we put that into all of our collateral, and then we layer on top of that other dynamic messaging that's where we'll lay in products and price, and we'll talk about features. But you have to establish credibility first and foremost, I think, in the B2B space. If you don't do that, then you're going to lose at the first hurdle. So trust signals matter, I think, probably more than anything else.
You referenced the 95-5 rule, which says that only around 5% of potential buyers are actively shopping at any given time. So how should that reshape the way business approach marketing and brand building?
So I think that brand building matters in B2B more than in the business-to-consumer space, because you need to hang all your messaging onto a brand that is memorable. So I think that marketers in this realm have an opportunity. You have to have a good messaging mix. You have to have customer testimonials that establish trust. You have to have advertising that's interesting, dynamic. You have to have thought leadership pieces on platforms like LinkedIn. You have to have a good marketing mix. And all the while, you have to trust that that collateral that you're putting out is going to fill the funnel, because you only have 5% of people who are ready to make a purchasing decision right then and there for a business-to-business product. The rest of your 95% are just in the consideration phase, or what we call the buying cycle. And that time period in the buying cycle is much, much longer than, again, when you're making, when you're appealing to people in the B2C space, where you can appeal to emotionalism and personal desire. You know, people can see a picture of a jacket they like and go, I want that, and immediately they're shopping online and they've added it to their cart. The B2B space doesn't work like that. It's a lot of committee mentality that's involved. So the data that you are putting into the hands of your operations manager or your receptionist who is researching your platform or your service has to be clear. But you have to believe that all kinds of people in your organization might be seeing your marketing messaging. So that brand recognition is important because it establishes credibility. So even if you put a huge marketing blast out there as a marketer, you don't immediately get an ROI, a return on investment. You've got to trust that your marketing mix is balanced and that it is going to work and it is going to produce results over the long term.
Yes, and added to that, when we look at artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence has made it easier than ever to create polished marketing content. So in a world where everyone can produce similar messaging, then what separates memorable brands from the forgettable ones?
The whole AI topic is so interesting because it's something that everybody is grappling with. I think AI is a double-edged sword. It has its pluses and its minuses. It's a very useful tool, but I'm certainly noticing, as I'm sure you are, that when you go online, you have a lot of people producing a lot of content now, and it all is starting to look and sound exactly the same. So what differentiates the winning brands, I think, in B2C and B2B is solid creative. And so I encourage people who are running businesses and thinking about investing in marketing not to rely solely on AI, because you're never going to stand out. You're never going to be able to cut through the clutter. There's just more and more and more content out there. So the way you stand out is clever messaging, clever creative, and if you are consistent in that, solid ideation, I think you're going to be able to build a brand that does motivate all of the people in a particular business to choose you as their preferred supplier.
Yes, that is so fascinating. So for business owners listening out there, whether they're running a startup or an SME or a large company, what are the 3 practical things they can start doing today to build a brand that customers trust and remember?
I think the most important thing that business owners can do is to invest in the time that it takes to build a solid brand and to know that they have to take a long-tail approach. You can go out into the marketplace and you can see a logo and you can see a payoff line, and that's just your starting point. There's so much more to building a brand than just your first signals. You need to be able to invest, as I've said, in solid creative. You want to invest in a good marketing mix, particularly in B2B. You want to have different types of messaging. Some people just want to know that you've got credibility, the trust signals matter. Some people want dynamic creative that's memorable. Some people want you to make them laugh. At Euphoria Telecom, when we called ourselves Euphoria, which means ecstatically happy, that is a massive brand promise that we've got to fulfill. So we have to make sure that over the long term, we're making our customers happy and that we've got a brand that matches that. We want to appeal to people and make them feel like they're making the right decision, one that's going to help them grow their business, that's going to equip and empower them. So live up to your brand promise. Figure out what it is that your brand stands for, what values are important to you as a business, and stick to that, and stick to consistent messaging, and know that if you do that, build on solid brand pillars over time, you will attract a customer base that will be loyal to you. You will stand out, but it's you've got to play the long game.
Yes, that is really, really useful. So it's the hard work that needs to be put in, and there's no shortcuts. I think, if listeners do adhere to that, that is where they will see the results. Thank you very much for sharing those valuable tips.
Thank you, Yusuf. Lovely to be with you.
You have a lovely afternoon. Thank you. Go well. Bye-bye.
You as well. Bye.
Yes, so that was our guest talking to us about brand building in an artificial intelligence world. Stay tuned.
3, 2, 1. No, it's not a launch into space. It's something even